Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. We want to invite you to this webinar with the title, What Digital Cannot Solve for Farmers in Africa. And we are looking at the 7 years experience of some of our partners that we have worked in. As you know, and as we welcome you, just telling you what we expect. We have a very interesting panelists who will discuss with us some of the digital solutions and tell us why digital is not a blueprint of everything. We will also want to hear from you. So I expect that you will use the Q&A function to place your questions, and we will strive to answer those questions during this session. So what digital cannot solve for Africa is a very unique topic, and it's unique because we all work with smallholder farmers, and we know that they are very important in producing food for this continent. And they continue to struggle, with the access to good quality inputs and also access to market. But without access to market, farmers are also are not willing and hesitant to invest in farms because they risk purchasing of fake and counterfeit inputs. And lack of markets also is a huge issue for our smallholder farmers. It's because of these challenges that, AGRA, we are invested in agribusiness consortia to make sure that farmers access inputs and market through contracted SMEs, and thereby the financing of input and access to know-how, to access to know-how and secured by the agro dealers, off-takers or financial institutions. AGRA, through the program of financial inclusion for smallholder farmers in Africa, or FISFAF, has partnered with the MasterCard Foundation and has been supporting the development and piloting of 25 digital solutions in Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania, which are targeted at reducing cost and risk of farmers-focused services along the value chain. These investments, of course, have given us a lot of insights on the potential of digital technology in addressing key challenges that smallholder farmers face. But we also learned that digital technology can, for example, not solve for the lack of input delivery points, nor can they cannot solve for lack of input delivery points, but they can authenticate those inputs to make sure that the inputs are original. We also have learned that digital solution cannot create markets. We must create the markets ourselves, but digital can facilitate the flow of information for the market players. So today I want us to welcome you to join us from hearing from practitioners what digital has done for their business, and to reach out to farmers and some of the challenges that we have faced in making digital solutions work. So as a way of welcoming, I want to first of all introduce our first speaker, who will be giving us an opening remark, and this is Hedwig. Hedwig is the head of inclusion finance with AGRA, and is responsible for implementing and driving AGRA inclusive finance strategy. This inclusive finance team supports the agricultural transformation by making sure that appropriate and affordable finance services are available to enable agricultural entrepreneurs and farmers to really realize their growth. Previously, Hedwig was AGRA team lead on the financial inclusion for smallholder farmers in Africa program, which is a MasterCard Foundation funded program that supports the development and delivery of digital financial services. Hedwig has a master's in development economics, and she is fluent in both English and French. So, Hedwig, I want to welcome you to give us your opening remarks. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Nixon, for this. And I'm very happy to see these four faces again. My partners, long-term partners, during the whole 7 years that we have been working on this MasterCard funded program. So really great to see you here. And I think today I'm really happy that we can share some of the lessons we've learned. We have some good studies and documents in paper, but it's always good to hear from the practitioners themselves how they have experienced their journey into digitizing their services or using digital solutions. I think for me, the big lesson that we want to bring out today is this strange paradigm that we have found. We want to invest in digital solutions to make things more efficient and faster and cheaper. But in order to get there, in order to get farmers to adopt digital solutions, we need to invest a lot in people, boots on the ground, and people to explain to farmers what it is, how it works, how to gain trust, etc. So I think before you can benefit and get the profits and the benefits from digitization, you need to invest a lot in people. And I think that is often forgotten. If I see all the announcements on the social media about venture funds investing in digital solutions, I mean, I always wonder, where is the money for the people? Because I think that's what we have invested in and what we have found to be the most expensive thing to invest in, is to get the boots on the ground and the people to adopt the digital solutions. So I think that is maybe my call for action. Is to not forget about investing in people, investing on promotion of the services, because digital is not doing it on its own. But let's hear from my four dear friends. Over to you, Nixon, what they have to share with us.
Thank you very much, Hedwig, for that. And very important remarks there that digital alone cannot function alone. We must be able to invest in people, but I also want to add invest in processes, so that when we lay in digital, then it makes our work more efficient and efficient in terms of delivery. So thank you very much, Hedwig, for that. And I now want to invite Fatma Fernandez, who is the founder of Queenswood Group Limited. Fatma is a founder of Queenswood Group Limited, a tech company headquartered in Tanzania, who has, in the past 8 years, successfully delivered mobile campaign solution to organizations within the public, private, and NGO fraternity. She has a strong focus in agriculture, and she strongly believes that rural development and agricultural transformation is necessary. Fatma is passionate about developing product with human-centered design approach. Again, we see what Hedwig had already said, the human face, and also has worked with AGRA, of course, with the MasterCard Foundation to deliver e-verification system that is a multi-purpose in the agricultural value chain. Currently, the platform dubbed T-Hakiki is being used by Tanzania Official Seed Certification Institute and is projected to de-risk about 2 million farmers in Tanzania from using fake seeds and pesticides. And with Wakala Digital Platform, Queenswood is working on digitization and of the management and supply of agricultural input to fix challenges, including poor inventory management. So Fatma, we want you to tell us what you are doing apart from what I have mentioned in your profile. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Nixon. I'd like to share my screen so that I can do my presentation.
Thank you.
As the introduction has been had from Nixon and Hedwig, it's been 7 years since we, as Queenswood Group Limited, have been safeguarding the livelihoods of farmers in Tanzania as well. From this, we are a Tanzanian agtech company that designs and delivers innovative technology products to the agricultural sector. We've enabled input providers to grow and scale their outreach to farmers while increasing their revenue and decreasing their costs. This is via the eHakiki platform that Nixon has just mentioned. We are also helping smallholder farmers manage the effects of climate risks, improving their farming practices, and bolstering their income over time. This is via a platform that we've named or dubbed Lima Salama that is offering insurance to farmers. Why we're here today is because of the eHakiki authentication platform that helps to facilitate government's capacity for consumer farmer protection and economic growth. And we're using USSD to do so. And the USSD that is star 148 star 52 hash. In Tanzania, we have a term that is uhakika wa mazao, meaning making sure that you have the right products and using the right input products. So of course, our expertise focuses on verification and brand security, marketing campaigns as mentioned by Nixon, which includes SMS and social media reach, outreach, farmer sensitization and training. We've done also digital extension services via the Wakala platform that Nixon has mentioned. This all in total is strengthening the agricultural markets here in Tanzania. How is the e-verification platform? So basically a farmer would buy a packet of seed, and on the packet of seed, they would find the TOS key, which is the Tanzania Official Seed Certification Institute sticker, and they would scratch it, and then they would dial in our USSD code. And after that, they would put in their code. And we also gather data from them as well, from their geolocation, if they're male or female. But at the end of the day, we're giving them a confirmation if the particular input that they've bought is original or it's counterfeit. So far, our outreach, we've reached 350,000 farmers via the platform. 180,000 pins have been activated via our platform as well, and we've received over 90,000 calls from farmers. So we're working with the respective government regulators, and in this case, we have Tanzania TTCL, which is our main partner. So eHakiki was how we started with the Mastercard Foundation as well as AGRA. But now in Tanzania, the platform is still eHakiki. It's copyrighted eHakiki, but it's called T-Hakiki, meaning Tanzania Hakiki, which is part of a product that we're working with TTCL to provide to farmers. And yes, our plan is to de-risk 2 million farmers by the end of this year. So what are the benefits of this platform? From the government perspective, we're looking at improved food security and rural incomes, because we know that the farmers have meager incomes, and if they buy inputs that are fake, so at the end of the day, their productivity will also not be as high. So we're also looking at improved investment in the agriculture sector as farming then becomes less risky. So we have more people, more youth, more women getting into farming. We're also looking at secured public investments in agriculture, because now you know that whatever input you're buying is not counterfeit. For the input companies, they assured farmers will buy more inputs from them, because if they're using the eHakiki platform, then they're able to have more farmers on their distribution channels, as well as growing their income. But also getting the confidence of these farmers that if I buy so-and-so's input, then this input is certified by TOSCI and this input is authenticated, and meaning this input is genuine once they scratch the code. With the community, which is the farmers, I'll just skip We have them knowing that the product that they're buying is it's not fake. They also have increased confidence in the brands that they're buying, the ability to connect with the brand, as well as protection from potential damage if they buy fake inputs. We've seen this, in the pesticide side as well as in seed, whereby farmers would buy seeds that are not authenticated by Toski, meaning they do not have the e-Hakiki card on them, on the sticker on them, and then at the end of the day, they would call and say that we've had this and this damage because we bought seeds and now we don't have any productivity from our farms. So part of the things that we're doing with this platform is delivering awareness through our field agents. So we are sensitizing and training the farmers and agro dealers on the value of verification, because it's just one thing to verify, but it's another to make sure that whatever product that you're buying is the right product for you and you'd be able to get the productivity that you need. So most of the calls that we're receiving are farmers asking us about GAP practices, about weather practices, and so on and so forth. So the value addition just from the verification is so high. And also we're registering them. We're registering the farmers, hence why we have over 350,000 farmers on our platform as of this year, and as well as agro dealers onto the platform. So we are extending this platform from not only just authenticating, but also offering extension services via the Wakala digital platform that you mentioned. So the Wakala digital platform would bring in the agro dealers and be a marketplace for this, for the input providers, whereby now there's a linkage not only to having the authenticated inputs, but at the same time knowing who is buying your inputs from the agro dealer side to the farmer side. And then also supporting ESD extension services for visits and sharing farmer feedback to the regulators, as well as doing project implementations. So I did mention about the digital extension services. This is under the Wakala platform. And here we're creating content related to different things, from the weather, from risks like right now we have the fall armyworms that are affecting a lot of the farms in Tanzania. And what are the best practices in farming that will help this farmer achieve the maximum productivity on their farm? So with regards to the analytics side, this is the thing that makes us it's quite interesting, because it helps with the decision making. You want to know how many seeds have been sold in metric tonnage in Tanzania from the past year, and so on and so forth. So it helps with the regulators to know these things so that they can know how to spend, what to do in the market, and also monitor issues such as poor germination, drought, flood exposures, and so on and so forth. And we're doing this also via the call center that we have. So these are some of the farmer feedback. Most of them are quite happy because now they're able to actually put a face to someone who, if they buy something that is it's not genuine, then they get, if they have a receipt, then they get, the same company would pay them or would give them the seed pack again. And so at the end of the day, this is something that most of the farmers are quite happy about. And also for them to get the knowledge, as I said, a lot of the stuff we're getting is from the GAP trainings that we're giving via our call center. So we're definitely seeing tangible change in the livelihoods of these farmers. Some of our partners were so privileged and happy that AGRA believed in us, Hedwig believed in us. We were, everyone would say, but this would not work. You cannot create a business model around this platform. We were happy that we tried and it did work, and we did get the government to come on board, and here we are today. Thank you very much. So Nixon, if you have anything to add.
Thank you very much, Fatma. I think this is very impressive. I see a lot of comment about how good this is. People are learning about it. But just one question I think Zakaria has for Fatma is, what is the experience with downstream activity in the value chain? What has been your experience so far, Fatma?
Okay. Zakaria, would you care to elaborate on the downstream activities?
I think he has another question, which I was also about to ask, is that this solution is no question is a very good solution and all, but I think his Zakaria's first question was around digital literacy amongst the smallholder farmers, still remaining a challenge to them. What is your experience on digital education and uptake of the digital solution amongst your farmers? Are they having issues with the learning, or are they learning fast? Is the learning complex, or have you people simplified it in a way that farmers can quickly understand and be able to use the system?
Thank you very much. Actually, yes. So basically what we did, as I said, we used human-centered design. We worked with AGRA, of course, and some consultants to do this. We went on the ground and figured out what would be the best method to do this platform under. So we used USSD, which is the, like mobile money, which is something that all the farmers would know how to do the mobile money. So there was a lot of money that had already been spent in ensuring that people know how to use their M-Pesas and so on and so forth. So that is the way we also went around it. And also it's so easy for the farmer, because the only place that they input the number is only the code. The rest of everything they choose from number 1, 2, and it's also in their language. Basically everything is in Swahili. And also our field agents that are going to the ground, they're all using videos that we've created, very short interactive videos that showcases to the farmers how to do verification. So it's quite easy for them to take up. So at first we started with only 1,000 pins, but now look, we're already increasing the amount of coverage in terms of the people who are using the platform. So yes, farmers are already aware. Of course, most of the challenge that we had at first was they would confuse this with, voucher, which is, buying like airtime. But slowly with the campaigns that we've done, now that has really changed. And the uptake is really great, because also we're using people on the ground. And not only that, but also having the government on board, because now the government is vocal about this platform. It is their go-to platform because the seed companies are all using it. It's mandatory for them to use the platform. So it's really, really helped.
Thank you very much, Fatma, for that. You can now stop sharing. Our next speaker is Dr. Daniel Asare Kai. Dr. Daniel Asare Kai is an agricultural economist, technologist, and geoinformation scientist, and an entrepreneur. He has a unique mix of professional experience from international development with key international NGOs to enterprise to reach scientific career. Daniel began his career with USAID-funded Integration Food System Program, where he worked to increase productivity and promote markets and rural and access for rural farmers on trade and investment program. As a CEO and shareholder of eSoko, he has led one of the African largest agri-tech provider to navigate through the maze of digital product and developments, and have developed several innovations for the African agricultural sector. eSoko community management platform creates a closed ecosystem to digitize rural supply chain, manage data flows, and build rural digital and financial inclusion. So without any further time, can I leave it to Daniel to take it away and discuss with us who eSoko is and what you people are doing for the African smallholder farmers. Thank you. Daniel.
Very well. Thank you very much for having me. And good afternoon to everyone on this platform. I just would like to share my screen so you can go through machine for today. Essentially, we're going to talk about how can information services actually can actually be transitioned into what we call an m-commerce platform. What are the challenges and opportunities that is offered by information services being transitioned into an m-commerce platform? So before I question, I just want to give the listeners just a quiz and what you've been doing over the years. So in 2008, we recognized that informing people and tracking data in the rural communities can actually be very, very, especially if you have a group of scattered over rural communities. How do you make sure that information one end to the other? And so at the time, you decided to see that, okay, mobile can actually be used, can make it more possible to send data and view and transact easily using a farmer's mobile device. So you set up a data platform for farmers to access information. Now, this information included market, economic information, weather forecast, all delivered via mobile, like what you see on the screen. Indians who were going out to the markets across Africa, recording the prices in this market. Now, this price information farmers via SMS, via farmer who lives in the country, you instant price of the commodity that you are interested in finding. And then over time, so you move
Daniel,
into digitize,
Daniel,
yes,
you're breaking.
So commodities, forecasting where farmers can get what on their phones. And let me position myself once again. Is it better?
Yeah, now it's better. We were breaking. We couldn't hear what you were saying, but now it's better.
Hello, Nizam. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, at least much better. Looks like Daniel has the network has not been very good to him. Daniel, are you still there, or you?
Yes. Is it better now? I hope it's better now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Yes.
Can you hear me? Very well. Sorry for the interruption. So essentially, I was.
Maybe you close the video. Maybe you close your video so that your bandwidth is not taken too much. Can you close your video? Maybe?
Key information services that we are providing to the farmers. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, you can close your video.
So can you hear me? Is it better?
Yeah, it's better. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. So essentially, I was talking about the kind of information service that we are providing to farmers. Farmers can find and buy but also weather forecast and doing crop protocol. So like Fatima was saying, you're actually involved in digitized extensions to farmers across the continent. And so you did the 3 key channels. SMS, I mentioned. We did voice, so voice messaging goes into the farmer's own language. So like in Ghana, you cover almost about 15, the most important local languages. Then you set up a call center, main information on AGRA. The contact also have women who speak base farmers to the end of 2017. This cost 80,000 costs. It is mainly in agriculture, 35%, 30% in mission to farmers. Now, what we implemented was largely a B2B2C model.
I think we lost Daniel again. The network is not very clear from Daniel's side. So we will allow Sashi Gupta. Sashi Gupta, who is the business head of ETG Agro Tractor and Implementers Limited. He's a graduate of commerce with an added diploma in management as well as international trade. Sashi has worked with ETG Group handling their Zambia operation as a country manager for 2 years. Then he went as a country manager for South Sudan for another 2 years, and now moved with the same group as a business head for their farm mechanization vertical based in Tanzania to date. And now the vertical has also expanded to Kenya. He launched a digital initiative like Rent a Tractor app and did several innovation projects on financial inclusion and mechanization. So Sashi, take it away and tell us about what you're doing in financial inclusion and mechanization.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nixon. Yeah, greetings to all of you, and thank you for joining the webinar. Let me share my screen. Just hold on. Yeah, is the screen properly visible?
Yes, sir.
You can put it on presentation mode.
Yes. Is this better?
Yes, much better.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I would repeat Nixon's tagline: what digitalization cannot solve for farmers in Africa. We have partnered with AGRA since the last 7 years, and we have learned a lot during this partnership. The good part that I feel is that farmers are willing to accept digital tools. They are happy to adopt to such practices, but not in the difficult part is they are not able to sustain such adoptions. They adopt something, they leave it, they drop it after some time. The reasons for this is, one, there is a flood of digital tools in the market. It's very difficult to choose which is the right one and stick to the same tool over and over again. Most of these digital tools, sometimes they start and then they vanish also very quickly. Farmers are not sure of the service or the quality of the data or the authenticity of the data that they would get using such tools. And on the side of the digital tools, like why do they stop? One of the reasons is the development of digital tools is not expensive, but like Hedwig said, the cost of promoting it is very high. And it's like an exhausting process to go village to village, organize meetings, make the farmers understand, train them on the usage of it. And then they will be able to get authenticity on that digital tool. But sometimes this exercise is stopped in between and the digital tool does not exist. A lot of the digital tools are supported by grants and they do not have a revenue model behind it. So when the grant finishes, and now since there is no money coming from the digital tool, it becomes difficult for the developers to maintain that tools for the future, and they have to stop. We have an example of failure. We did a project with AGRA. We developed lead farmers. The idea of these lead farmers is that we help them buy tractors by assisting them in getting a loan from the bank. So that part of the project was successful. Then we trained them how to run a farm mechanization hiring center, including keeping the books and records. That also was successful. Then we also collected the data of smallholder farmers in the vicinity of this lead farmer. So that was not challenging. We did that. And all this data, the data of the lead farmer, his location, what tractor he has, what implements he has purchased, the smallholders, all was populated into a call center. And then this call center tried to do the matchmaking between the tractor owner and the smallholder farmers. The tractor owner was supposed to provide the hiring services, and the farmer was supposed to take these services. But it involved multiple calls. Sometimes the tractor owner was not available. Sometimes the farmer is not available. Sometimes the farmer requires a service, but the tractor owner says that call me afterwards. So there were multiple calls required to each of the stakeholders and they got annoyed. Secondly, they could not trust somebody calling from the city and assuring them of the services. The farmers were not sure who's calling them, whether the services are authenticated, so they would stop receiving the calls. Same way for the lead farmer, meaning the tractor owner, when he would get a notification from the call center that go and serve this smallholder farmer, it would be difficult for him to spend on the fuel because he was not sure whether that farmer would pay him, the land would be proper, the work would be there or not. And in all these exercises, we were not charging anything to any of the stakeholder, but still the project did not succeed on the matchmaking part. But based on this learning, we were also able to develop a successful model. This we have named it Rent a Tractor as a registered trademark. Before launching it and before investing in this platform, we did a thorough research. So we find that almost 34% of the adult population of Tanzania is engaged in farming. That amounts to 9.6. And out of this, 93% are smallholder farmers. Smallholder farmers meaning the ones who have 1 acre to 7 acre of land. Because mostly these are the ones who require mechanization services, but they cannot afford to buy a tractor. So this figure comes to 8.7 million farmers. And mechanization is important for them because in the absence of mechanization, they will not be able to increase the yield as they want to. The number of tractors in Tanzania, as per the TRA data, which are functioning, is 20,000 approximately. And so there is one tractor available for 5,530 acres of arable land. Whereas the world average is almost like one tractor per 50 acres. In different countries, it is different. But if we take a global average, it is coming to one tractor per 50 acres of land. So there is a huge gap. Increasing tractors would not be a solution immediately. It would take time for farmers to get finance and buy tractors. So the idea was to come up with something which is where the existing tractors can be optimized. So this is how the Rent a Tractor platform was developed, where the tractor owners, farmers, booking agents were all enrolled in a platform. The idea is that the tractor owners can share their tractors with the nearby farmers, but on a paid basis, that they would charge the smallholder farmers for the machines. One of the biggest challenges among sharing of the machines was the size of the land. The smallholder farmer would say, I have 2 acres of land. And the tractor owner would feel that when he has done the work, the land is 3 acres. So we developed a system where the land could be measured properly by the system so that this dispute is minimized among both the stakeholders. Also, sometimes the tractor owners were hesitant to rent out their tractors because they themselves don't drive it. Their operators drive it. And sometimes the operators tend to do some work on the sites. But with this method, the tractor owners could know where their machines were and what work they were doing. Secondly, we also developed, this time based on our previous learning, we learned that we needed to have boots on the ground. So we have developed a network of booking agents. These are mostly the youth in the villages who have graduated, but they're not getting the right employment at the village level. But most of them, all of them, have the smartphone. So these booking agents were developed so they could go to the smallholder farmers and book on their behalf, because a lot of the smallholder farmers are not using the smartphones because of the battery usage or they're not comfortable. The system is also capturing the data of the financial transactions so they can reach a bankable status. And this data we plan to share with the banks after some time, or the farmer himself can go to the bank and share the data. So it would help him maybe to get more financial inclusion. Yeah, so we also analyzed our competitors and So we made a transparent billing system. The farm size is measured, like I said. There is a price bargaining feature also on the app, because in different localities, in different regions of Tanzania, the price is not the same. And say somebody has 7 acres of land, so he might be expecting a slightly lower price. And the person who has 1 acre of land, uh, for the tractor owner, it is consuming more fuel to send his tractor for 1 acre. So there is a price bargaining option also on the app. All the payments are routed through the rented tractor system, meaning the farmer pays to rent a tractor. The rented tractor keeps that money on hold, and after the work is done, it pays the tractor owner. So the tractor owner is secured that his payment will come, and the farmer is also assured that the money that I have paid is paid to a proper company, so I will get the service. The farmer or the booking agent, when they open their app, they can see the in their vicinity which are the tractors, and they can select one or maybe multiple tractors, and all those tractors get the notification, and they can come and do, and whichever accepts first, he can start connecting with the farmers on the app through the price bargaining. And once the price is decided, the farmer can pay to rent a tractor. Work is done by the tractor owner, and the payment is done. After a certain time, we want to also make it a multi-service platform where there is e-shop, where people can, since the payment is already integrated through the system, M-Pesa, Tigo Pesa, Airtel Money. So we want to also have an e-shop where people can actually buy agri inputs, and the booking agents can go and deliver those inputs to the farmers. Same way they can buy insurance products, they can avail of financing. And also we want to use it for some kind of advertising, because we want to create a revenue model to sustain and expand the platform. The transportation and farming section is already active. The other things are under development. We, as rented tractor, we also want to make money. The reason is we want to expand the platform, and we are a for-profit company, so we need to make money. To be able to showcase to our shareholders that why we are investing in this platform. So whatever the tractor owner is going to get, suppose if the total cost of hiring is $100, $15 comes to us, and $85 goes to the tractor owner. For the farmer, he does not have to pay anything extra. He has to pay as per the market rate only. And then when we put up this e-shop, agri inputs, financing, insurance, we will be charging a percentage on the transaction. And same thing for the advertising. We also have immediate cost. We have, out of the 15% we charge, 4% we pay to the booking agent immediately after every transactions. The mobile money charges are all to our account. Because this service is an organized service, so there is a VAT implication on it. Normally, when the tractor owner and farmers do the transactions among themselves, there is no documentation, and so the VAT is not applicable to them. But when we as an organization are doing it, we have to pay VAT to the government. So that also gets deducted from our 15% only. We are not charging it to the farmer or to the tractor owner. The impact we see, yes, the tractor owners, the booking agents, the farmers, the operators, all will get additional income. We intend to deploy almost 100 plus people, and most of these people would be on the field. Almost 80 people would be on the field, and 20 people will be in the office. Already we are expanding. We have 16 people on the field, but we intend to hire more. The farmers, with mechanization, definitely the yield goes up, and we are targeting 500,000 farmers. The rural community is mostly based off farmers, and if they are enriched, it's benefiting the country as well. These are some of the screenshots of the app. So this is the buyer's experience, meaning the farmer side. If he has a smartphone, he can see the tractors nearby him. He can select the tractor. He can pay the money. This is the seller, meaning the tractor owner's experience. He can see all the orders which are for today, for the future dates, which are popping up new, which he can accept or reject. He can see the location of his tractor. He can see Suppose he has multiple tractors, he can see which tractor is earning him how much and which operator is earning him how much money he needs to receive from rent a tractor. This is the tractor operator's experience screen. So he can see, and in the last, if you see, he can measure the land. So the system makes a polygon like this, which is converted into acres. This is the booking agent's user experience. He can register all the farmers and see all his registered farmers. He can see his income, how much commission is still pending from rent a tractor to be received. He can see that. This is today's order screenshot. So some of the tractors are en route. The others are showing order confirmed. So 7th April, 7th April, 4th April, 5th April, 5th April, these orders are confirmed, but they are yet to be executed. Confirmed means the farmer has already paid the money. Now, since the land preparation season is almost over, most of these orders are for transportation. Yeah, this is a dashboard. We can see like 330 orders have been done, 1,000 acres have been done. 6,900 farmers have registered, 247 tractor owners, 432. We have just launched this from the 1st of December 2021. So it's just like 4 months. This is a screenshot of how the booking agent is getting the commission. Like I mentioned, 4% he gets. So all these bookings he did in one day. And so he's making 30,400 shillings in a day just by as a booking agent. This is the revenue to the tractor owner. If you can see, these are all the farmers he served. So this is all the money he's getting through the system. Our current setup is we are operational in 2 areas in Tanzania. So one is Barali. It's a district in Beira region, or you may call it Beira province or state. So that's one district, and another is Kilosa, which is in Morogoro region. So in one, we have 28 active tractors and 22 active tractors in the other. But 200 other tractors are being fitted with GPS. Today, as we speak, 47 of them have already been fitted out of 200. So they will also become active in 1 or 2 days. 242 people have already registered in the system, meaning they want to join the program, but they're waiting for the GPS to be installed in their tractors. The 432 booking agents have been appointed in 6 districts, 6,000 plus farmers, 1,000 plus acres cultivated, 284 plus bookings successfully done. Transport module, although I've written 1st April, but it is already active. I showed you the order screen in which the transport orders were there. Now, if you look at the revenue model, like I said, 93% of the total farming population is smallholder farmer. That is the 8.7 million, having less than 7 acres of land. Even if we take 80% of this, that comes to 6.9 million smallholder farmers. And right now, we have just served 284 smallholder farmers. All of this 6.9 also require mechanization. So we are just targeting 500,000 farmers in the next 10 years. It's a very conservative figure, but that's how we are building our revenue model. But if you look at the total serviceable market, it's a $207 million market in tractor sharing. Yeah, these are the takeaways that we have taken, that the digital should have a revenue model behind it. Otherwise, it will fail. The scalability should be there because if it is not scalable, it will not become popular and the economies of scale could not be achieved. If the digital tool would like to have an investor, then also any investor would look at the above 2 points before coming on board. Like Hedwig said, a ground team is very necessary, and that's the major cost in promoting a digital tool among the farmers in Africa. So this is a must. Otherwise, the farmers will not trust on the service. And like Nixon said, a digital tool is just a tool to improve the efficiency of a business model. It is not the business in itself. True. So the business model should be should be there, should be a sustainable business model, then the digital tool can come and top it up by increasing the efficiency of it. Yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you for your time.
Thank you
I'm
so
open
much.
to any question.
Thank you very much, Sashi, for that. There are a lot of learnings from what you presented. For instance, the ratio that you're saying, 1 tractor to 5,530 acres, that is something new for me, and wow, I didn't know that. But again, you said there's opportunity for people to crowd in tractors so that we also can reduce these numbers. So business opportunity, and also like the way in your model, there are different areas where employment opportunities would be seen. But there's only one question from, I think there are two questions. How do you ensure pricing that is fair for the farmers? And then the second one is, how can we empower tractor operators to scale to owners?
Understood. Thank you, Nixon. For the first part, the pricing in most of the areas is already there. So the system gives the maximum and minimum price. So the bargaining can happen not above the maximum price and not below the minimum price. So the tractor owner cannot charge anything abnormal above that. And same way, the farmer cannot demand anything lower than the minimum price. Does that answer your question, Nixon?
Yes, that question actually was asked by Omar Bashir. The other one was from the Nderitu, who says, how can we empower tractor operators to scale to owners?
That would be a bit difficult because most of the operators, they do not have land. Yeah, it would be very difficult to make them tractor owners. I personally feel it would be difficult because the tractor is quite expensive. The bank would not be willing to give them a loan. It would be difficult, I feel.
Thank you very much. I think that was a very good presentation, Sashi. And now we want to go to back to Daniel. Daniel, are you back with us?
Yes, I'm here.
And now your network is okay?
I hope so. It's been raining very heavily, but now the rains have stopped. So I hope it's going to be fine.
You have 5 minutes.
Very well. So let me share my screen once again.
Okay.
Actually, I was talking to services package transition.
Daniel, it seems when you share your screen, then the network,
which was like, it's about 8 years service offering, quite a remarkable.
Daniel, it seems when you share your
this
screen,
is strange because
the network has a problem. Can you just talk us through instead of sharing the screen? I think when you share the screen, your bundles are exhausted or something like that. Maybe you can just talk us through without necessarily sharing the screen.
All right.
Go ahead.
It can work very well. Yeah,
Yes.
So I was saying that by 2016, when we had run our information services program for about 8 years, we had achieved quite a very remarkable success. We had invested more than $10 million. We had raised about 9 million in revenues, and then we have also reached 1 million farmers from 20 countries in Africa. And then we have also delivered about 30 million messages to our farmers across the continent. I made a question, did it really work? Did this information service really work for the farmers? You did quite a number of studies where you found that farmers on the average are receiving about 10% income increases from just by having access to information service package from our platform. I made this were confirmed through several randomized controlled trial studies done by the likes of New York University and several other research institutions across the world. But then something was happening. So you wanted to change the way the business was being delivered. There was two main challenges that you faced. One was farmers' inability to pay for the information service themselves because we are largely running on NGO funding. And so NGOs subscribe on behalf of farmers. And then once they pay for the farmers, their program ends, we now need to bring a new NGO for them to come in and subscribe for the farmer. And so you are looking for several other business models that you could do. Again, there was also a proliferation of agri-tech companies across the industry. And so there are several other agri-tech companies who are also providing similar service, which were further actually getting inroads into the small market side that were available across the continent. And so, but then there's also opportunity that we also saw. There's an opportunity and on top of in the input-output market. And so you saw that most of the farmers were looking for ways to where they can have access to inputs and they can actually have a way to sell their crops when they are harvested. And there's also a strong need for complete digitization of agricultural value chain. So there was a need for us to be able to look how then do you re-digitize the entire agricultural value chain end to end. But then also this our shift from to the M-commerce platform was also a way to also answer farmers' persistent call to help them solve some of their persistent challenges that they had faced in the agriculture industry. So we launched an M-commerce platform called Tula. And so Tula by 2016 had been launched. The whole Tula vision was to actually become a leading virtual marketplace for business to be able to trade with rural consumers and producers in Africa. So the idea is that farmers will be able to have access to financial services. They will have access to escrow services. They will have access to market information, data analytics, last mile fulfillment of inputs, and then delivery of their crops when they're harvested to a virtual marketplace where they can sell their crops. So this service was launched. It was called Tula. It was launched first in Ghana with the support of AGRA and several other partners. But then whilst we were running this service, we encountered three main challenges. These challenges were in farmer registration. The second one was in layaway, where the farmers were supposed to save their own money, use that savings to buy agricultural inputs. And then the third challenge that we faced was in fulfillment. So when the inputs are to be delivered to the farmers, what are the logistical issues that were at play? And so for the first one, farmer registration, we learned that there was an inadequate agent training, which resulted in slow start. The issue of farmer illiteracy was a big issue, but then also low phone ownership. Most of these smaller farmers didn't have a phone where they can actually have access to the service and be able to use it to actually save their money, which could be used to buy agricultural inputs. On the saving themselves, the digital saving themselves, they were also low because largely most of the farmers didn't have the money to save. And so it seems we underestimated the level of poverty across many of the communities that we were working in. And then as input supplier side, I mean, some of the input companies that partnered us also changed the terms of their engagement. So by the time that they were supposed to deliver the inputs, these terms had been changed. So they became much more difficult for them to be able to deliver the inputs to the last mile communities. And so there's very important lesson that you learn. One was that the retail or consumer service for smallholder farmers is very, very difficult to do. So if you are running a service where you are targeting smallholder farmers themselves, it's very, very hard. The second one was that deployment itself requires trust, and which means they need to have local agents at the community level. But these agents, to set them up, to train them, to maintain them, is also very, very expensive to do. And then rural poverty, like I said, was probably too deep to allow for product benefits to drive demand. So because of poverty, even though the product itself was very, very beneficial according to the farmer themselves, they were not able to participate in the program because simply they didn't have the money to be able to do so. And that also, you also learned that it was very, very hard and expensive to measure impact for such programs. And then also selling the service to donors and businesses is also very hard. And then ultimately the business was found to be too compressed and too ambitious to run. And then you have also some other internal leadership issues, which led to lack of focus from the pilot community and to a place also to start out the program in Kenya, which originally wasn't part of the plan. And so in the end, you couldn't scale up or sustain the M-commerce platform, and the Tula platform had to be closed down in both Ghana and in Kenya in 2018, just about 2 years of it being launched. And so in summary, what you say is that information service can actually be transitioned into an M-commerce platform, but certain things need to be in place. You also know that, of course, things like standardization need to be in place. Standard within the agricultural value chain needs to be there. Things like the block farm concept, where the farmers can actually farm in a group. So input fulfillment, input delivery can be done in a group as against delivering inputs to 10 farmers here, 5 farmers there, and so on and so forth. But then there's still a strong need for the input supply and output market to still be met. And getting information right to the farmers is still very, very important. But then from our experience, you've learned that information service alone is seen as a soft service for the smaller farmers. And if you want to succeed, it's got to be bundled together with some additional service that the farmers find much more useful, much more convenient for them to do. So after this lesson that this M-commerce that we launched in 2016 didn't work, we kind of regroup as a business and try to look at what we can actually be doing differently. And so today, Isoko as a business has been providing 4 main services. You're doing digital service where we help people to digital agriculture value chain. You're doing messaging, provide a messaging platform, allow people to communicate with people in the rural communities in bulk. We're also now looking at commodities. How do you actually look at the lesson that you learned in the Tula platform to be able to improve on digital commodity trading using mobile wallet and aggregation centers that are out there. And then luckily we are back to winning ways. So you've been winning awards over once again. Just this week, you won the Africa Technovet Awards for being the digital company of the year for agriculture services. You've been selected as a finalist for the Making Mississippi Prize in Agri-Tech program. So we are back to being, but then the lesson that we learn from the M-commerce platform is very, very important. That is guiding us in the future as we scale our services to other farmers in the continent. So I'll just end here because I couldn't share the screen, and then I'll ask if there are some questions that I would like to take them.
I think, Daniel, that is very insightful. That is very insightful. And it's good to know that you have been beaten once and now you have the lesson around, getting the correct revenue model for the business and also looking at issues to do with standardization and also learning from example, farmers coming together as an association rather than, serving one farmer per country. So now we want to hear from Clarice. Clarice is a financial service and agribusiness expert. She is a career commercial banker with an except in agri finance, SMEs, and microfinance, as well as credit risk management. He has supported several agribusiness in acquiring the funds through debt and equity finance. In addition, he has set up agribusiness unit in the retail division of KCB and involved in training. So Clarice Aduma, please welcome and tell us what you are doing in KCB Foundation.
Thank you very much, Nixon. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Your network is okay. Go ahead.
All right. So I'll just share my screen. Please confirm that you can see it.
No, we can see your face.
Just a minute. What about now?
Yeah, I think it's coming. Yes, now we have it.
All right. I think it's now in presentation mode.
Yeah.
So
yes.
All right. So once again, thank you for giving me this opportunity to explain what we are doing for farmers at KCB Bank, which is one of the largest banks in East and Central Africa. And we have an application called MobiGrow, basically, which is an application that is specifically tailored towards smallholder farmers. And this application and service and program was financed by AGRA at the beginning, and then heavily financed by the MasterCard Foundation, and for which we're grateful. And we've been running this program for the last 7 to 6 years. I will just quickly go through the presentation to explain exactly what it is from a financial and commercial bank perspective. So basically, what it entails is making farming a lucrative activity via financial services. We do realize that most of the time we are always accused as bankers and financial institutions of not doing enough to support farmers and agribusinesses. And there are several reasons as to why this happens. And through this particular mobile application, we tried to bring financial inclusion and banking closer to farming communities. So what it is that it is targeting smallholder farmers in a way that enables them to get financial services faster and at their own convenience. We're using mobile technology, mobile banking, to bring secure and attractive products to the farmer. And this particular application is to connect farmers to their buyers as well as the input suppliers, because the farmers are able to receive payments and make payments through this platform. At the same time, the platform allows them to have savings accounts because they're able to open accounts from this platform. They're able to get loans from this platform. And again, we're able to disseminate training practices on good farming practices such as agronomy and animal husbandry, as well as when to plant, when to harvest, and in the event of attacks from pests and diseases, we're able to do this through this platform. So we'll just take you through a very short customer journey, what it entails, because it's a long process and I don't want to bore you with bank jargon. So for the Kenyan audience, basically when you dial *225#, you're welcomed to the KCB Bank mobile banking platform, and then you enter a PIN to proceed. So here you're able to choose whatever it is that you want to do, either to access your account, access your loan, whether you want to withdraw at Mtaani. For our audiences who are not Swahili speakers, or Kenyans for that matter, is what we call agency. It is a colloquial word. It is not pure Swahili, but it resonates with the general Kenyan population. So that is what it means. Mtaani actually is the same as color for Tanzanians or on the call. We have sent to M-Pesa. M-Pesa is also our mobile, the predominant mobile banking platform run by the largest mobile network operator in Kenya. And they offer this service, so we have connected to them because they are the largest, and we're able to then use both platforms to bring services closer to our farmers and producers. Then there's the option, you can either buy airtime or you can choose to be trained. So again, depending on which kind of menu you will choose, if you choose my account, you can look at your balance inquiry, you can get a mini statement, you can change your PIN, you can transfer cash either to someone else or to your M-Pesa wallet or whatever it is that you wish to do. If you decide to take to choose the loan menu, you can request for a loan, you can pay, you can see what your loan limit is as well as your balance. And the same for the farmer training, where we can teach you how to do your savings, how to use your loans, how to grow your money. We have an option for dairy farmers, other livestock enterprises, as well as crop farming. The next screen shows account opening, which is very easy without you having to go to a physical brick and mortar branch, which is a huge challenge here, because some of the farmers that we are targeting are based in very remote areas. Using your money to go to a brick and mortar branch becomes a challenge, and hence the reason why a number of them are not able to basically integrate with the financial system is because of the costs involved. So a farmer is able to open an account from wherever they are by simply dialing again the same *225#, and they will follow the prompts as to how they can open the accounts. It is very easy because it takes not more than 5 minutes or even less to open an account, which immediately is opened on the bank's core banking platform. So again, through our collaboration with Safaricom, which is the largest mobile network operator in Kenya, the farmers are able to do this very easily. The system has also integrated with the government's system platform where all adults above 18's data is stored. So we are able to know that whoever it is that is opening this account is actually a bona fide person and is not accessing the core banking system fraudulently. So we are able to ensure that we practice KYC, which is very paramount for us as a financial institution, because of the issues of anti-money laundering and fraud. So in terms of the loan product is capped to 100,000 Kenya shillings, that is about $1,000. No need for security. You're able to get your repayments from your produce when you're paid on the platform. We make it easy for you to repay. You can pay in portions because sometimes you're not able to do it at once. And the loans are insured at the point of borrowing. So it is a very popular product because of the ease with which the farmers are able to access loans, and they're able to do one or two things. Either it's an emergency, or they need to buy inputs, or they need to buy drugs, or they need to buy chemicals, whatever it is, or fertilizer. So it is a very popular product, and the amounts range between 100 shillings to 100,000 Kenya shillings, that is $1,000. So in terms of qualification for the loans, like I said, it is quite popular. You just need to open an Mobiglo account at the bank. If you're a dairy farmer, at least you need to have been delivering milk at least for 6 months to a reputable dairy or an off-taker or buyer. And the minimum we require you to be delivering is at least a liter of milk every day, at least for the next 6 months. This way, we are sure that you'll be able to have a limit that will actually be meaningful to you. I'll explain later in terms of the challenges why we put some of these conditions. Actually, it is to safeguard the farmer, not just to be mean, because bankers, we always get a lot of flack when it comes to loaning, and I'll explain why. In terms of the benefits, like I said, the farmers are able to open these accounts conveniently out there in the field. They don't have to come all the way to where a branch is situated. There are immediate payments without you having to wait for a long period of time. There's a reduced cost of transaction. So the transactions for this particular service have been subsidized by the bank. And this is because we realize that in order for it to be attractive to farmers, farmers are very price sensitive, and any variation in any price by a cent or a shilling or a dollar or whatever it is makes a very big difference. And so at the subsidized price, then the farmers feel free to transact with us. And the reason why we've reduced these prices is because of the ability to scale. This platform has allowed us to scale. We're able to reach more farmers. The margins are not big, but there is the issue of volumes. And so this is the reason why the bank is able to invest in this platform and not feel that it is a waste of their time or money, or that the return on investment will be low. Then the other thing is that farmers are able to access training and tips on good financial management, as well as good farming practices. So naturally, as the title of today's session indicates, we have challenges and some of the lessons that we have learned. One of the things is that new regulations keep coming up from our regulators, policymakers, especially regarding data and know your customer procedures, that is KYC. And this means that every time these regulations come up, we also have to even make changes onto the platform, which is not a cheap affair. For example, in Kenya, for anyone to open a bank account, a new requirement came in that you must accompany that with a tax PIN. That is the Kenya Revenue Authority PIN. Now, majority of these farmers do not have KRA PINs. And so it becomes a challenge for us to open these accounts, because they will tell you, but I don't have a PIN, and they're not willing to, because they don't want to come within the tax bracket. So those are some of the challenges that we have. Then the other thing is illiteracy and semi-literacy, a very big challenge. Most of our farmers, again, are in areas where education is not really a big priority. And so using the phone sometimes becomes a big challenge. We have issues like forgetting of pins, or phones are shared, that kind of thing. And so we have, they always have to go to the branch, because we cannot send you pins just from a phone call. That's another challenge that we have faced. Then the other issue that we have faced is synchronizing production cycles with the repayments, especially for the crop function. This has not been very easy because with climate change, the periods that we are now getting into are also changing slightly, and syncing that on the system has been a big challenge because a system is a system, unlike a human being. So if you program it that it needs to repay, we need to repay loans in April, that is exactly what it will do. But probably that April, the farmer has not harvested or has had to delay. And so we get into problems when now the farmers go into default. And the other thing is that for the training tips, SMSs don't always work. To some extent, they work, sometimes they don't work. Because like I said earlier, the farmers share these phones. So you'll find one household sharing one phone between 6-10 people. Normally the head of the household will be having the phone, and probably the person who is doing the farming is either the wife or his children, or the head has left the phone at home. There's no power. In some areas, we still have issues of power. So the phone is not charged, the period of the SMS lapses, or they're not within network at the appropriate time. So those are some of the challenges that we've had. Yes, as much as we'd like to go digital, but those are issues that we face every day. And again, we are not able to even give them things like having videos or pictorials, because most of them have just the feature phone, not smartphones, like most of us here. And so it is a very basic service that we are able to offer. Sometimes it is too basic and they say, look, I already know that I need to see what else. What if I get this attack? And they're not able even to share photos so that we can support them. So those are some of the challenges that we get. Despite the challenges, there have been successes. It's not all gloom. The successes are that most farmers have embraced this platform because it is very easy to open accounts and they don't have to come all the way. We support them in getting the KRA pins and advise them that they are not going to be nabbed by the tax authorities. And we are also forced to give them education on why that is a requirement. The other issue that the farmers have embraced is the privacy aspect, because not everyone will know that you borrowed a loan. So you're able to borrow it comfortably without having to get guarantors, or having people looking at you walking into a bank and walk out and then maybe trailed by people with evil intentions. So the privacy that it affords the farmers has been greatly appreciated. The system has loan limits that are preset. And so in the event that you have an emergency as a farmer, you need to get chemicals very fast, you can quickly just rush to your mobile app and borrow a loan and quickly sort yourself out. Sometimes the emergencies also involve family or household issues, so you can sort yourself out very fast. The repayment is very easy, it is not cumbersome, and once you have repaid a loan, you are able to borrow immediately. Again, the limit resets itself again. Now, as a bank, for us, we realize that the limits, or rather the margins are very little, but the volumes are large. Farmers are many in the country and beyond. And so the return on investment on the platform is viable because we are able to scale this, and therefore we are able to realize our returns to date. The amount of money that has been spent so far on this platform is in excess of about almost $4 million, not cheap. And we have to keep on reinventing the wheel because things change, it is not dynamic. And again, the other challenge that we have is repayments, especially during the COVID period. We had a huge challenge with the NPLs going up. But this, again, we are seeing a reverse in the trend as more and more farmers are paying because they realize that they need to repay for them to be able to get these loans. And so we see it as a viable investment for us, and we continue to invest in it. However, the challenge is that we will also have to have some human intervention in terms of reaching these farmers. When we first started this application, we had done it from our offices. But thankfully, due to Hedwig and her team who so graciously supported the HCD activity, we were able to go to the field on the ground with consultants that were paid by AGRA. And this enabled us to conduct a human-centered design approach, which has ensured the successes that we are now able to brag and showcase to the world to date.
Thank you very much, Clarice, for that. Thank you very much. I see a number of questions, but I think the question that I was about to ask, I think has been addressed by you. Why is a mainstream bank interested in serving farmers, and how long are you prepared to invest in such solution without making money? I think you have addressed that by saying that, well, the numbers are the farmers don't have money, but I think your business case is on the scale, and that is very quite interesting. We are long past time, but I want to ask, maybe Clarice, there's a question for you here. A guest is asking, how do you ensure that the farmers pay back loans without security? Sometimes farmers can side sell. I don't know what it means by side sell. Clarice.
Yes, thank you very much. I guess yes, side selling. Side selling basically means that they will pay, but the money will not come to the bank. That's what I guess means. So this is another challenge. It is 50-50. Sometimes they pay, sometimes they do not pay. The thing is, most people in Kenya know that when you don't pay your loans, then you're going to be listed on CRB. Now, the threat of CRB to everyone means that once you're listed on that platform, you're not able to get any other loans. So it's something that hangs on their heads. Some, unfortunately, don't care, but most do. So the level of NPLs are really low because we also have a debt collection agency that still follows those that will not be able to pay. But by and large, we've seen most people paying because they've seen that it is a service that supports them, and they need to repay so as to get access to more and bigger loans, because the more you borrow and repay, the larger your limit becomes.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we are way past our time, and I want to thank everybody who has been on this call. There are a number of questions that have been asked, others have been answered, but I can promise you that we will answer all of them as we get all these questions on email. We'll promise that we will send them out to you and be able to answer those questions. I don't know if Hedwig, you want the last word?
No, I like the comment that people were very happy and overwhelmed. I think that was the idea, right? But I think I really appreciated the frankness and the openness of the partners, the things we have learned, we have gone through, failures we've seen, but also the successes. I think, and that is what I want to say as a call for action, right? We need to be patient as funders, as investors, and we need to invest in people. And I think if we keep those in mind and always keep the sustainability and the scalability of the business models in mind, I think then we come a long way together. So thanks very much, partners, and thanks, Nixon, for the moderation. And I wish everybody a very good evening, and thanks for attending this webinar.
Thank you very much. I want to say nothing less or more after Hedwig has spoken, but I want to thank all the panelists for availing themselves. I want to thank all those who are participants for staying on. I know we have stayed more than 30 minutes after the time, but I think it's because the topic has been very enjoyable. Somebody says, don't wait for 7 years to share the experience. I know we'll not wait for another 7 years, but we will keep sharing this experience. We intend to have monthly, webinars on digital. So keep in tabs. We will be, making the announcement on social media. We will be having another one next month and another discussion. But thank you very much, all the participants, Sashi, Clara, Daniel, Fatma. Thank you very much. Also Hedwig, who heads our inclusive finance. And to all of you, have a good morning, have a good evening, and have a good afternoon. Thank you very much. See you next time.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.